I don't know what happened, but the same thing happened to me to just now, happened to me other night. I think I know what happened. What took me so long to come back on this time was I had to get rid of some data. Sup, Turf? Sup, bro? I had to go and dump some information, so make a little bit more memory in the phone. My whole YouTube data bank was filled. I kind of thought that, suspected it, but I wanted to make sure for myself, so that was it. Now, while my family is away, the mice will play. So let's get right to it. Let's get right to it, okay? If somebody can watch the replay, because all the other video was the Brady Bunch madness. Okay. I'm not going to use my grafting knife. If you have a grafting knife, that's great. We're not going to use this because, hey, Tracy Wade, I didn't learn how to graft with a grafting knife. I learned how to graft with a razor blade, which is in here somewhere. Now, I have a box full of grafting tools. Paper tape, so you can mark whatever you just grafted. You want to remember the name of it. Glue, any kind of glue. It don't matter. It don't matter. Any kind of glue. Tomorrow, we'll be doing this real, live, in full effect. If you got any of these X-Acto knives, they work great too. I'm just going to tell you the tools before we get going. Then you have plumber's putty. Plumber's putty. Plumber's putty work just like the glue, so you don't have to have both. You can have either or. I like using this because it's quick and easy and simple. I'm going to show you what this is for tomorrow. Either glue or plumber's putty. Or wax. This is my grafting wax that I use just for this purpose. You don't need this stuff. It just really makes things really work. Now, for everybody, rubber bands. They are important to me. Rubber bands are important to me when I'm grafting. Electrical tape and or rubber bands. Now, everybody has seen this tool, and everybody has asked me about this tool, and I always tell everybody every single season, I hate that thing. You will see this on all kind of social media platforms, on all kind of websites. Have you seen this before? If you are looking to start grafting, does this look familiar to you? Or this pop up in your feed if you're a gardener? If you're a gardener, I'm sure this has popped up in your feed one time or another. Ms. Kraft said, I have one. I totally agree. Total junk. That's right. If you're a gardener, you will see this thing. Now look how perfect and pristine that looks. That's because I used this once, maybe twice. And it got to be the most ridiculously engineered device I've ever seen in my life. If you know how to graft, or once you know how to graft, you'll understand why this is not or sufficient. This is minimalist at best. And I'm telling you, it works. It works. But I bought this maybe 10 years ago, and it still looked as good. That's how much I hate it. But I spent so much money on it, I don't want to throw it away. It's like hoarding, actually. But now I keep it to show people, do not get this thing. It's the only reason I keep it now. Other than that, I would have been sold this. Now, razor blade. If you have a razor blade, I prefer a box cutter. What was that? It looks so awkward. It's actually really easy. As a matter of fact, I'll even demonstrate it for you. I'll demonstrate how it works for you. Because you're going to think, the way I use this, you could be like, oh, that works much better. There's so many drawbacks to it once you know how to graft. What happens is, I'm going to use a piece of blank wood. I'm going to try to get a thick enough piece to actually do it. We may not have a thick enough piece. We'll try this. All right. All you do, this comes down and stamps this. Now watch this. I'm trying to make it so you can see. It's going to cut into this little branch. Okay? It's going to cut it out. And you see what it did there? It cut out a perfect V shape. The other side, now let's just say this is one branch. I'm going to keep this here so you see it. This is another branch. So you understand how this works. I'm going to do the same thing on this other branch. Wait, I was a little too off. Wait. I'm going to do this on this branch. Well, we need to do that the opposite way. Okay. So now what you have is the perfect identical shape that fits in that V. So each cambium layer touches each other. That green part that I told you about fits right inside over here. Just like this. You want to match that green. Forget the bark, forget everything else. You want to mark that green on that green. If the other side don't fit perfectly, we only worried about one side. Now look. This is a whole different branch though. See how perfectly that fits? Now, what we would do from there is take your electrical tape or your grafting tape, wrap that as tight as you can around, as tight as you can. Listen to me. This is how tight you want your grafts to be. You want your grafts to be so tight that if they were on your finger, they would cut your circulation off. On your finger, that's how tight you want the rubber bands and the tape and the grafting tape to be. So you just wrap that around, and bow. You put something dark around there, like some electrical tape. And now, this used to be a Granny Smith apple. Now from this junction on, this is a Pink Lady apple, or a Golden Delicious apple, or a Rome Red apple. This could be whatever you want it to be. Looks good to you, don't it? Right? Looks good. This is the part they don't tell you. Out of curiosity, can you graft onto tomato plants? Why would you even want to do that? You could, but why? Tomatoes grow, all you gotta do is cut a branch of a tomato off and stick it in the dirt, it will grow. There's no reason why you would want to graft one tomato onto another tomato. I've heard of people doing it, and they can't even explain to me why they did it. I think they did it just because they could. Because I never heard one explanation of why they would want to do such a thing. It looks good. Yes, it does. Here's the problem. Once you start grafting, one of the horrors of grafting is one that you don't think about. Looks good. Remember, this is always sitting on your tree. This is your tree. You ain't got no stick like this like we doing right here. Ooh, I made it to a rubber tree. No. Nothing hurts your feelings worse when you come outside and see this. By the time you see it, it has dried out and died out. You may get lucky and try to start again if the piece that you grafted on was big enough. Cut it up a little further and then start from here and do it again. But your time has been wasted. Why would you come out and see your branch like this when it's supposed to be like this? This is why. Because you don't account for squirrels running up on the tip of a branch and eating a little nut sitting on there. And once they feel that fall down, they jump off. Or a little fat red robin up there trying to get some mating calls and sit on top of there. And once it does that, they fly away. I have actually watched mine happen sitting in this chair with trees right there in my face. And like, oh, little fat robin. Oh, red robin. Yum. Every single time. So now, that machine is great, but here's where they messed up. If they would have made that cut about 3 times that long, instead of that little cut that they did right there, instead of this little bitty, this ain't nothing to hold on to. Nothing there. If they so much would have made this come down about that low, that would have gave you more to tape around and more to hold on to. They didn't do that. They ruined a great invention, and every one that I've seen is just like this. Teeny tiny, and they're going to break. You might get lucky enough where this will work out for you, but once you see the price of that grafting thing, you'll say, I think I'll try it the old-fashioned way. That's why that's crap to me. Oh, it works. If you pray that ain't no little red robin or no squirrel gonna run up that little branch. And it seemed like they always head for that branch. So, let's start that over again. Let's cut this and let's do it my way. I did it my way. You see that right there? You know what that is? It's a fruit bud. If I would have knew that was there, I wouldn't have cut that off. That's a fruit bud. It's still good. I sound like a hoarder now. It's still good. I'm going to cut that off. And I'm going to put that in the refrigerator because I am going to graft that. I'm a T-bud graft that onto another tree. There are so many different ways you can do this. Now, this piece here that we cut, that's the one we brought towards us. If you are trying this right now, you can try this right now. Don't cut yourself, okay? Bring that in like this. See how I'm holding that? I'm holding it with it facing me. And I'm going to be cutting this way towards my chest, not my arm. I'm trying to come back. And you will be cutting just like that. What you want, see how my thumb touched that? That's what you want to happen. When you come off, that's what you want your thumb right there. Because when you come off, what you just did was make a safety cut. You know your thumb ain't cut. And if you come back too far, your thumb is in the way. See that? So when you come back, make sure you can pull your thumb back. If you don't have a kind of knife or a razor blade where you can do that, you might want to go get something else. Because this is a safety mechanism so you don't cut your whole creativity off. Okay, hey, how you doing, Maria? Now, this is the sweet part. We got one branch cut just like that. All we're trying to do is get this light green area around here. Ooh, that's better. That light green area that's coming right outside the wood, we're trying to make that touch the other branch that we get. I'm going to show you a whole bunch of way easier, almost perfect ways to do this too. So if this is a little scary to you, look at all them fruit buds. I screwed up. Look at all them fruit buds. Those are apple fruit buds. Them little knobbies like that, I messed up. I got to save that and put them on something else. This is the kind of stuff I do, y'all, when the camera is off. I'm getting ready to get my grafting on. I didn't do no grafting last year. So, again, I'm going to take this new branch of another kind of tree. Imagine that this is on your tree. And what you want to do, you kind of want to size them up too. Let's be for real. Size them up. You kind of want the same size, as close to the same size as you can get it. All right? Yes, you can grow lemons in your apartment. Close to the same size as you can get it. And then we're going to whittle that size. Same way. Remember, pull towards you and thumb. See that? Only reason I'm doing like this so you can see. You want this as flat as possible. Let me do it the right way because I can't get going good. See how flat that ends up coming out when you do it that way? If you do it like this, you're going to be whittling like you out fishing and ain't catching nothing. Like you trying to whittle yourself a wooden boat. This way, you get that nice, flat, straight cut. And from there, you could just scrape anything that don't work for you. Boom. See that? This is another way. You want this as flat as possible, and I'm going to show you why. This will help you. When you lay your blade on there, can you see through there? When you lay your blade on there, if you can see through there, it's not flat enough. Now watch this. If I let up a little bit, if it's like that, and you can, oh, I did pretty good. So that's what you want it to be. You don't want to be able to see through the knife in the wood. Just like that. That's how flat you want it. That's one stick. Here's the other. You want that flat for a reason. Because one branch is going to hold on to the other branch. Just like that. And you want them to touch perfectly like that. See that hole in between there? See that little hole? Then what you're going to do is come back off. See where you might have a problem. And even the score. Even that score off a little bit. Okay? I'm sounding like the happy painter now with little precious happy strokes. That's right. We're just going to call them happy strokes. That was my dude. Real happy. Nice little strokes. We're going to just straighten that out a little bit. Can't you feel the happiness? Bill collector came today. I was already upset. I thought the bill collector was coming to give me some bills. No. Bill collector came to ask for my wife's hand in marriage. Whew, that sure took me for a loop. I said, I tell you what, fella. You can have her and the bills that she made for me. Good luck with that. So, see what we came up with. There we go. See there, it's a little better, but there you go. Just cut that off right there. Happy strokes. Real happy strokes. And that's what I called it when I made it to the hospital that night. And the doctor said, you almost lost your life tonight. You're too stressed out. I said, doctor, what did you call it? Well, as you would like to say, you had a couple of little small happy strokes. Forget about your wife and the divorce decree, okay? Or else you're going to have another happy little stroke. We can't have that. So, right there. So, with that being said, now we're going to go down and lock these together like this. Go halfway down. Go halfway down and just cut straight down in a rocking motion. A rocking motion. Because you don't want to cut your finger. Just rock. Just rock-a-bye, baby. Just like that. You're just going to go down about 1/8 of an inch, maybe. Just like that. Little happy strokes. Okay? Now, you see that? I'm going to show you where is our cut. Right there. See that? That's our cut. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other wedge. Come on down a bit. We're just going to rock with it. Rock. Steady. Steady rocking all night long. Everybody rock. Steady. Rocking to the break of dawn. There we go. Same deal. This is off because I'm trying to do this and show you at the same time. What you're going to do is open it up a little bit. Just kind of open it like this. And watch what happens. Here's the magic, baby. Let me find this other groove. I got to get in the groove first. There we go. There we go. See that? Oh, wait a minute. It's this steady rocking. Wait a minute. I wanted you so much. How could I have been so blind? Started to give. There we go. Damn it, girl. Come on now. Being shy with me. Thought we were friends. Loved and let it. Then you came into my life. Rock steady, baby. Rock steady, baby. Rock steady, baby. Ooh, rock, rock. I know I'm tripping. Come on now. Come on. You joshing me. Okay. It's going to look real weird like that. Long as that green is touching that green. You see this? That looks crazy, don't it? Look a lot worse than that other one did, the machine. This is going to work. I like to use electrical tape. Everything in here, screw this part. We don't care about that. Everything in there is what counts. Only one side. If the other side is hanging off, don't worry about it. We're only caring about one side touching. Green on green. Cause that mean green. Almighty dollar. This is where this comes into play. Your electrical tape, which I love so much. This is I cannot graft without this ever again. As tight as you can, you wrap this whole union with electrical tape. Now remember, you're doing this out in the sunlight. So it's best to do this early in the morning so you ain't sweating and burning. And the other part you have to remember, this is attached to a tree. So you don't have the luxury of sitting here twirling this like so. So you're going to be doing some acrobatic tricks on this tree. Your neighbors are going to think that you have lost your ever-loving mind until they see the blooms on the tree. All different color blooms one year. And then ask you, what kind of tree is that? You tell them which one. Now watch this. Look. No more squirrels. No more little fat robins snapping it. No more Zumbumafu monkeys. Nothing can break that. This family, I don't like patting myself on the back. If that was a microphone, it would have dropped. Now that, I know what I'm doing. I don't care whether you like it or not. It's going to be some people say, that ain't how you do it. As you see, I have an acre of land full of trees to prove it works. That's all to that. If you do it the other kind of way, it will fall loose. I'm going to be showing you easier ways than that. There's one, this used to be my favorite. I'm going to show you a way. Here's another way for you. I'm going to make this fast. I'm going to make this really fast. We're going to do saddle graft. This is super easy. All you're doing is what that machine just did. Wait, let me get a better piece. All you're doing is what that machine just did. So what you're going to do, here's the tree. Here's the tree. Leave that alone. Here's the piece. You say, Led, do you have a piece of Lillian I can have? I say, yes. I send you a stick like this. Before we get going, no, I don't have a piece of Lillian right now. But I send you a stick. Number one, you got to figure out which way is up, sucker. Which way are these buds facing? You need to know that because that is going out away from the trunk of the tree. All right. The base of that, you are going to whittle into an A shape. You take a little off that side, you flip it over, and you take a little off of this side. Same thing. The reason I was wearing gloves because the oil on your hands will mess up or disrupt this graft because this is just like your body being wide open and exposed to the elements and oils and diseases and everything else is no different. So we have whittled that into a perfect V. Do you see that? This is one of the easiest ways. See that? We whittled that on evenly on each side down into a V. This is the sweet part. This is your tree branch. It's hanging off. So you come up to your tree. Here we go. This is your tree, right? And you like, I don't want this here no more. I want to turn this Granny Smith branch. I want to turn this into the rest of it Red Delicious. You cut that branch off. Now this is your tree branch just hanging out. Now we've already whittled this piece down into a V shape. Take your knife, razor blade, whatever have you, and you go down in the middle of there, right in the middle, and you just rock, easily rock. That way you don't cut your doggone life force off, okay? I'm talking about of you. You rock that down, just rock. Don't push this, rock it. Just like that. See where we're going with this? All we're trying to do is line up this very edge. Line up this very edge. Thank you, BB. I've been doing this a long time, for years. I'm good. And all we're going to do now, family, is just make sure one edge is on perfectly. We ain't studying the other side so much. And we're going to just drive that. Let me open him up a little more. See how that is? You might sometime even need to put your knife back in it just so you get it started. And then get rid of your knife. Get rid of your knife. This will keep you from touching it. There we go. I wanted it a little more dramatic than that, but you just push that all the way down, just like that. You line that edge up right there, that green, you push that to the edge and get that green on that green. Do you see what's happening here? Now, unlike the other way, we're done. You tape that sucker up as tight as you can without moving it. Don't move your graft. You know you got it on good. Tight, 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 tight. I mean bone tight. And if you don't think this electrical tape is tight enough, the reason I like using electrical tape, because believe it or not, your branch will bust through this on its own. If not, you can cut it loose. But it lets you pull it tight without breaking. And again, okay, that's everything. If you do not have electrical tape on hand, this is what you get. Rubber band. Because not only does these rubber bands pull tight, but just like the electrical tape, you do not want to get this graft union wet. You want to keep the moisture inside of the graft union, just like this. And this rubber band will do it. Just fold it over on itself once or twice, and then you pull that rubber band just barely like it's about to break. I'm sure y'all done made something out of this before in your life when you was a kid, doing exactly what I'm doing right now. You pulling that rubber band, pull that rubber band around that graft union, making it tight. And not only is you making it tight and making those two make sure they touch each other, it's kind of like your mama telling you, take your little sister with you. But she always in the way, take her with you. You got something else to say? No. Take her with you, and you better not let nothing happen to her. That's how tight you want it. You don't let her leave your side. I can go to the store faster, Mom, without her. Take her with you, and don't let her leave your side. I hope my little sister is watching, because I went back in time on that. And there you go. It's not coming loose. I've been doing this for years. I promise you, every tree out here, I will prove soon enough, it's full of all kinds of different fruits on each tree. That's it. It's that simple. When I show you tomorrow, can you show us how to graft? What, can you show us how to graft them? There you go. That's it. Tomorrow, I'm going to even show you an easier way. No, everybody don't even pay that no attention. Usually them is little kids to come. I used to think that them grown up trolls is little kids, man. They get bored of TikTok. They go over to TikTok and start. They done looked at enough silhouette videos and knockers and booty cheeks. They get tired of that too. Believe it or not, I know them kids do. Now they want to go mess with grown folks. They want to see some real action. You know why? Because seeing people naked is not it's not a big deal anymore. When I was a kid, seeing people naked in magazines and stuff was like, man, oh my God. Now all you gotta do is cut on TikTok. Boom, knockers. Put your hand on my knockers. There they go. Kids even get bored with that. I mean, they don't even get stimulated no more. And then they wonder why once the kid get old enough to have a relationship, they want the man or the woman want their wife or husband be some kind of super freak or some crap they done seen years ago on some social media site. Man, that's not reality. Half of them people doing them silhouette challenges, they got their babies on a bottle in the next room. How desperate are you? How lonely are you? Your husband just left off of work and you making silhouette challenge. Come on, man. And then some of them got the nerve to say, what you looking at? Wasn't you on TikTok? Your knockers was out. You answered that question for yourself. You put that stuff out there in the atmosphere for everybody to know. You make people curious. And like I told my daughter years ago, and I hope she's still listening to me, here's the deal. Like I always say about us here on YouTube, you don't just have good people watching you. You also have people and freaks that want to destroy you. So if you're showing them and you're tempting people with all your goodies and treats, what happens at Halloween time? Kids go trick-or-treating. Some people leave their buckets of goodies on the porch unattended. They leave a sign that says, please just take one. What do most people do when they go on that porch full of goodies and they're free for the taking? They take them all. They take more than one. They might take the bucket too. So, ain't no different when you leave and put your goodies out here on the porch for everybody to take and look at and taste unattended. You keep putting your goodies out here and leaving them out on the porch. Everybody that come on your porch does not have good intentions. You're going to hand your goodies out to the wrong person. And then you're going to be crying, oh God, why me? There you go. Let's see. That's grafting in a fix. Leg, can you show how to do a single graft, a side graft? Tomorrow, thank you, Miss Craft. Tomorrow, I'm going to be doing a side T-bud graft, real ones, on a real tree. Now, I'm going to show you to get a little bit more crazier on a real tree. And I'm going to also show a bark graft, my favorite. That's my favorite graft of all. That always work almost 100% for me. Hey, how you doing, New Orleans Gardener? What's up, Lady Linda? Good to see you. He was talking about the trolls. Yes. I think that's only you, Unicorn Lady, because I'm watching myself on this iPad, and so far I'm not buffering. You might want to check out your system. So, any questions before I go? Right now, it could be a question about anything. It ain't got to be about grafting, because I know a lot of people ain't going to do that. Oh, Lady Linda in the house. This may be off topic. I said any questions, so give it to me. This may be off topic, but can I give advice on fig trees? What advice would you like? Plant swaps. What does that mean? It just said plant swaps and a question mark. I don't know what that means. How is the weather out there? It's hot. The Rock is, can you please make another dessert? Dessert? I'm trying not to make no desserts. I'm trying to do this health thing. You've seen her making our smoothies for tomorrow. I would like to, but if I make a dessert, I'll probably eat the dessert. So as you see, I didn't make no lemon pies this year because I was like, I better stop that crap. Let me see. You're welcome, Carol. And I just ordered my kumquat plant. Thanks. Let me see. Do you prepare your soil before planting? No. I just dig a hole, throw a little something in it, and just I don't do none of that nonsense. Every now and then I might throw some extra soil in there, but no, for the most part. And if you in Ohio, 9 times out of 10, you don't have to do nothing to your soil. I'm from Ohio. What time will you do the videos tomorrow so I can plan my errands around it? I really want to get it done early, so around 11-ish, 12-ish, because you don't want to be doing this in the piping hot heat of the sun. I like grafting early in the morning or late in the afternoon. Cloning my pear trees, any suggestions? I need to know what you need to know about cloning. I don't know how much you know, so you got to be more specific for me, okay? Do you have trees just for rootstock? Yes, I do. Lead, I just ordered my Berkey. Oh, good, because I need some water right now, to be honest with you. Lead farmer, can we graft rose bush? Yes, that's a good question, because you can graft any tree. You can graft onto any tree. Roses especially. Yellow roses onto a red rose, onto this kind of rose, that kind of rose, and have all those roses growing off of one tree. Will you set a timer 30 minutes in advance? I can do that. I think I can do that. I'm getting pretty good at that. I think I'll do that for you. What's a fruit tree you'd recommend for a beginner? A Red Haven peach tree. Red Haven peach tree. Will we get an update of your homestead lead? Yes, as time go on, that's pretty much what this whole channel is, just really updates on everything that goes on. So definitely. Hey, Fundy Fee, how you doing? Country and Yankee said, can you talk about mistakes you see in new gardeners making? Yes, Country and Yankee. The question is, can you talk about mistakes you see new gardeners making? Yes, 2 things. 1, let me go back because I don't want to pass them. Number 1, you are not gardening at all. You just say, I want to start gardening. So if you're not gardening and you say, I'm planning to do, I'm about to, I'm a gonna, that's the biggest mistake you can make in your life as a gardener. It's not even starting or not even trying. Number 2, patience. If you do not have patience in the garden, you shouldn't even bother, because you're going to be frustrated and you're going to quit because you don't have patience. Patience is everything in the garden. If you do not have patience, you are wasting your time. New Orleans garden say, I've seen people put some crazy stuff in their soil, fertilizer, fruit trees. Yeah, you don't need all that stuff. Ain't that right, New Orleans gardener? You don't need all that stuff. Where do you get fruit trees from? Anywhere that I can. Online, I prefer Ison's Nursery, but anywhere I can. Have any of you visiting new channels? I don't understand that question. Lead, I have a Crown Berkey and I love it. Also a dehydrator and a water canner. Been working on preparing like crazy. Thank you. You should, because you'll be an asset to your community and your family especially. Okay, Yankee Sister says, question, Lead, I just received a bare root apple tree. Should I plant immediately or can I wait? Zone 6A. That was a perfect question and gave me all the information. Yes, plant it now. It's time. Even if it's cold outside, even if there's a little snow on the ground, if you can work that soil, get it in the ground. Yes, you can, especially if it's an apple. Do figs need a certain type of soil or fertilizer? Absolutely not. Figs will grow in a rock if you let them. I have never had a fig that don't grow. They are not particular. Figs grow in anything. Figs grow in wet soil. Figs grow in clay. Figs grow in anything. They love tight spaces. They love tight spaces like a container. Let me see. Led, do you have blackberry still? Yes, I do. No, I don't prune them. You can if you need to, but I have no reason to. Has anyone grown Cape Golden gooseberries? I haven't. Let me see. That's right, Fundi Fig. Figs will even grow in the desert. If you get the right ones for your area, they will grow in anything. Question, I have a lemon tree in a pot. A lemon tree in a pot that was gifted to me 3 years ago. No lemons. What could possibly be wrong? Where did they get the lemon tree from? You need to know that. Because if they grew it from a seed, you may never get lemons. I got fig cuttings and they are growing fine in containers. Exactly. Got you, game nerd. Figs can tolerate extreme heat summers. Yes, they can. Let me see. Multi-Twidget says, I have grown golden gooseberries. They taste disgusting. Now, remember, that's their opinion. If you want to grow them, go for it. Yes, New Orleans Gardener, she grew them figs too. Matter of fact, she did her first air layer cutting last summer, and she got a fig growing in her yard from one of her favorite fig trees in her neighborhood. You can't beat a fig. You can't beat them. To me, figs are like having free fruit. It's hard to say fast. How many years do it take to get fruit? The question I'm going to start saying is not how many years does it take to gain fruit. I'm going to start saying this. The real question is, how long will it take for you to gain patience? Your goal right now, once you plant a tree, is not to get fruit. Your goal right now is to nurture your tree or your plant, because even if your tree is huge and is giving you fruit, if you have an old busted up sickly tree and it's big and it's giving you fruit, that does not mean it's giving you good healthy fruit for you to be eating. You want to nurture your tree just like you would nurture your child. You don't try to make a baby tree do grown-up stuff. Babies, little kids, you don't make them do grown-up stuff, right? You don't make a baby tree try to give you fruit. That's like you trying to tell your baby to give you a child. It's no different. When you ask questions about your fruit trees, think of yourself, think of humans. It ain't too much different. You cannot force something to do something. Mind you, you can. You can. You can force a child to have a child. You can force a small tree to give you fruit. We both know, we all know, there is nothing right about any of that, morally or physically. So you have to gain patience. And in the meantime, while you're nurturing your tree, taking care of your tree, one day you're going to come out and it's going to be a bunch of fruit buds like I showed you out here in that last video that cut off. Fruit buds everywhere. I'm ecstatic because this is my first year getting tons of apple blooms. I'll usually get a handful. Okay, when does the Miwa Kumquat bloom? When it's ready. When it's mature enough. It's an ever-bearing tree, so it might bloom all year round once it's mature. La Ponderosa said, I'm nurturing my mandarin orange tree that I acquired. They've been in the ground for 10 years. Are they still? Okay. You're nurturing a tree, a mandarin orange tree that you acquired. When you say acquired, just like the other person said, gifted, that's a key word, okay? You acquired it from where? And the other person, they were gifted it from where? If you don't know anything about this tree except a family member or a good friend gave it to you, you don't know what they gave you. They said it was an orange tree. That's all. You need to know more about your shirt. You need to know more about your gift that you just received. Because what can happen is they could have gave you a seedling. And if you have had an orange tree for 10 years and you have never received fruit, this lesson on grafting is for you. Because if they gave you a seedling, you might be another 10 or 20 years before you ever see fruit. So in the meantime, if you're still that curious, let half of the tree grow. But take the other half and graft on pieces that you know you've seen fruit growing on, and you're going to get fruit on there immediately. Let the other half run with curiosity, and then you graft on good wood, good fruiting branches where you're going to get fruit that next year. I'm going to take you on a ride with me real quick because I want to show you something. This is why grafting is so important. Normally, I don't like doing this, but right now I feel it's necessary. Plus, I ain't got no shoes. I slip on my boots. Hold on. Hang tight. I feel that it's important, so, you know. Because this is going to answer a lot of people's question. How long does it take after you graft when you're not seeing fruit on your tree? Okay? This conversation is too long in the chat. Who said that? Okay. Listen. Wait a minute. Okay. Here's the deal. See, here's another thing before I get into that. Don't correct that person. Everybody that knows me been riding with me for years. And in this, we like to have a good time. But at the same time, we like knowledge. If you're not here for knowledge and you're just waiting for the next joke, there's other channels for you, Miss La Ponderosa, okay? Sorry about that. Sorry you felt that way. But you wouldn't feel that way if I was trying to answer your question. If I was trying to take my time to answer you, you would feel happy that I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to help this person. So, here we go. This piece, this branch right here, this fruiting branch right here. See all those fruit buds about to explode? This is a pear tree that I grafted onto not this past year, but the summer before last. Now we got fruit. This tree was not fruiting. And the part that's left still ain't fruiting. Look. Still ain't fruiting. Still nothing. So I left that part of the tree so when it decides to start fruiting and give me fruit, I can go with that. In the meantime, I graft onto a piece that I know is going to give me fruit because it came off of this tree. Right here, I took a branch off of this tree. That branch over there used to be on this tree. I cut it off of here, grafted onto there, now I'm getting fruit. I felt that I needed to say that because it's important. Because what that teaches you is if you're waiting 5 years, 10 years for fruit, sometimes some stuff is you're waiting too long. And then most of the people that say they've been waiting 10 years and stuff like that, let's just park it out here for a minute. They're waiting that long and they don't even know where they got the tree from. That's important. That's very important. Matter of fact, here we go. Ain't nothing better than a good old bucket. Plop it down on a bucket. There we go. Feel good out here too. All right, almost 10 years. Yeah, it's time to graft, my friend. And I'm sorry to the person that felt that I was taking too much time to help somebody out. That's not how we roll on this channel. Y'all know that. If it's time to help somebody, our job here on this channel, this ain't TikTok. It's not gonna be a 1 minute little disco dance to show you how to plant a tree. They do that on TikTok. Okay? Go over there with the rest of them kids. Does a fruit tree ever stop growing because it's too old? Yes. Yes, they do. Some trees, they get to their limit and they'll stop fruiting. That's when you graft onto them too. Been growing my lemon tree for seed for 3 years and will be grafting soon. That's good to hear. Never too much knowledge to learn. Amen to that. How is the weather there? Hope is perfect. You don't have to apologize. Well, I just want the person to know that I didn't do that out of malice, whether they were a troll or not. I did it because I thought it was one of the, out of all the crazy stuff we hear every day on this channel, I thought it was one of the most meanest, rudest things that somebody could say. Screw them, you're taking too long on them. It's my turn. How horrible can you be? This world is bad enough without that. We don't want to do that. So what else we got? Led, I can't wait for the season when the jujube come back. My jujube is starting to bud out too. Yes, it was very rude. How do you know when a tree is too old? It will stop fruiting. Let's see. Adine has a good question about dying trees. Let me know what is the question about dying trees. What trees do the bees love? All trees. They chew. That's like saying, what grocery store do you like going to the best? They pick their groceries when they find something on sale, literally. It's like they tell each other where to get the food at. Like, it's a better source over there on the east side. That's exactly what they do. Ms. Kraft said, to those asking about the pomegranates, if you look behind lead, yes, here is one of my pomegranate trees. There's the big mama over there, right next to it. And they've been there for years. I just never pay them no mind. I walk past them just like I did tonight. And I planted some, well, you can't see them. I planted pomegranates all over my land now. All over the place. And I even got a pomegranate in a bucket over in the corner. I got them all from Ison's nursery. Can you still air layer an old tree? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. And actually, when you air layer that old tree, an air layer off a branch, you gave that tree new life because the trunk of the tree is getting older, but that branch is fairly new. You take that off, you just started that tree's whole life cycle over. Yes, mine look the same. I thought they died and freezing. No, pomegranates look awful in the cold. They look awful, but you watch the thorns. They always come back. Are you growing? Let me see. Are you growing your pomegranates in the ground or bucket? Both. I'm growing them in both. I want to make sure I hit that bucket. I don't want to sit on the ground and knock my head. How long should a peach tree stay at a 5-gallon bucket? You can keep it in there indefinitely, but every blue moon you're gonna have to go down there and you're gonna have to cut the roots, trim the root system. My Anna apple tree is flooded in a planter this winter. Small branches died. Can I graft onto the main branch? Yes, you can. You can do it. You can. If your tree is still alive, you can graft on it right now. Is it too early to plant my peppers in the ground? I overwintered them, zone 8A. No, you can do it now. You with me, I'm in 8A. Broke farmer, can you describe what a fruit bud looks like on an apple tree? Yes, a fruit bud. Oh, it's not enough light, bro. Because because I got an apple tree right there I could show you. A fruit book, yes I can, yes I can. It's short and knobby. It's like a little, it looked like a little branch. And you know what people do sometimes? They cut those off because they say, oh, this branch look awful. No, that's where the fruit is going to come from. And they just trimmed off all of the fruit buds. I'm a broke farmer. I'm going to show you for sure in a minute, okay? Actually, I trimmed some off this while we was in the house. Let me go back up here. I seen a question. Is the seed of a tree DNA different from the is the seed of a tree DNA different from the parent tree every time? I think you're trying to say like the fruit that comes out of the seed that comes out of the fruit from the parent tree, is the DNA in that seed going to be different? I want you to look at it like this. Is it going to be different every single time? I want you to look at it like this. Rarely you will get the exact same DNA. Rarely. Trees are no different than people. That's why I keep relating them to people and how they respond and how they react. No different than people. It's like you having a child. Your child may not look like you or your husband or you, right? It'll probably look like your uncle or your granddaddy or sometimes your great-great-granddaddy. Like, boy, you look just like your Uncle James. Boy, I swear. To the point, sometimes your child either look just like the daddy or it look like the daddy, has traits like the mama, or vice versa. Or it may just act like granddad crazy, but that's how seeds are. It's rare that you get the exact same parent seed. It's almost impossible. It's as possible as someday down the line, another you is being born. Might look just like you, might sound just like you, just say 100 years later, but it's not you. It's going to act completely different. It's going to look like you, walk like you, talk like you, but it's going to act completely different. If you want the exact clone of a tree, that's where you graft. That's where you air layer. Can you graft a fruit branch to a non-fruit tree? Yeah, it depends. See, that's getting technical, and I don't want to mess your head up. Like, say, a flowering cherry. You can graft a cherry tree, a fruiting cherry tree, onto a flowering cherry tree, or a flowering apple tree onto a fruiting apple tree. But you just can't say, I'm going to put this apple on this oak tree. It don't work like that. Are carpenter bees worth keeping around? Yes, they are. They're great pollinators. What do you graft fruit trees onto? Fruit trees. Let me see. I'm trying my best to catch up with all the questions. I know what I was running my mouth. Lead or Miss Craft, what is a stone fruit? A stone fruit is any fruit with that hard, big pit in the middle. Like a peach, just think of a peach seed, hard as a stone. A peach, a nectarine, a plum, anything with those hard stones type seeds, because inside that stone is the actual seed. That stone that you find in the middle of a peach, that is not the seed. That's the shell, the hull. Once you crack that open, it's like a nut. It's like an almond. Actually, it's in the almond family. A peach is. Once you open that up, you will see a little seed that looks just like an almond. That's the peach seed. Thank you, Lemon Drop. Let me see. Thank you, Miss Craft. You caught it before I did. And there was another one up there that I missed. Wish I didn't miss it. Can you graft I got that one. Okay, we on time. What fruit tree wouldn't you grow in a pot? I would never try to grow a persimmon in a pot longer than a year. Or really, pecan tree. No nut trees. I would never try to grow a nut tree in a container because they have long tap roots. If you mess that taproot up, your tree is it's just a matter of time before it dies. It'll be alive for a little while, but it's a matter of time before it completely gives up on you. So growing things with long tap roots, that's why most pecan trees come in a long, long container instead of a normal little container like this or something. They're always in a long container or bare root in a long bag. Can you eat them seeds from a stone fruit? I wouldn't. Doggone it, I just planted persimmon in a 15-gallon container. Take that out of there. Take it out. I got persimmons back here in 15-gallon containers. The only reason I got them in there is just to wait till this year so I can put them in the ground. I don't leave them in there permanently, ever. Owning a nut tree is a dream for me. What a pecan tree. Want a pecan tree so bad. I literally have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6 pecan trees. You got to have it. And I got an almond tree in the front of the house. I'm trying to remember all the pecan trees. Yeah, almond tree in the front and 6 pecan trees in the back. Every home needs some nut trees. I don't care what kind they are. Have you thought about putting mango trees on your land? Mangoes don't do well here. I've had several. I've had every kind of mango you can think of. I even have videos of them. They never make it here, so I stopped trying to pamper them and baby them. How long would you keep a pecan in a bucket? I would never keep a pecan in a bucket like at all. As soon as I could get it into the ground, I would put it in the ground immediately because of that long taproot. If you have one in a bucket and you see that long center taproot twirling about around that bucket at the bottom like this till it's trying to get out of one of these holes, take it out that bucket. Cut that taproot straight across. Cut anything that's spinning like this off. Cut it. Just take all of this off. This much. Cut it. You ain't hurting it. You helping it. That taproot is going to reestablish itself and then put it in the ground so it can go straight down. Trust me on that. Because if you start getting it spinning like this, it's going to come back up and choke itself. I remember that just reminded me of like a little girl playing with her jump rope and she's spinning around with her jump rope, spinning around with her jump rope. And then the doggy, her little puppy dog, grab one end of it and run around her the opposite way. Next thing you know, she all tied up and she's screaming for help. That's your tree. No different. Just, it's going to choke itself out. Let me see. Apple seeds can produce cyanide too when digested. The dose makes the poison. Correct. What is the difference between a fruiting fruit tree and a flowering fruit tree? You just said that for yourself. A flowering pear tree, I have one right here in front of me. It only blooms flowers. That's it. A fruit. I'm sorry. A fruiting fruit tree, it blooms, gets pollinated. Yeah, you caught that too, Josie? More, yeah, ghetto Morse code. And that's unlikely. That's why I'm sitting here about to go for my hip. Like, what is that? So anyway, yeah, flowering fruit trees bloom and produce fruit. I mean, fruiting fruit trees bloom, then produce fruit. Flowering trees produce flowers, flowers fall off, and they produce little tiny little fruit sometimes that's inedible. You see me, Turf. All I know is I'm waiting for sirens now. That's unusual over here. Highly, but it's Friday night by the mall. So we finally got our garden started on time. Fruit trees planted to gain canning skills. I'm truly blessed. And you know what? It's going to be a lot more canning videos this year. I hope. I hope to see a lot more canning videos because that's part of our prep. What is the point of having flowering fruit trees? That is one of the best questions of the night. I have a flowering apple tree, a flowering like a crab apple tree. The purpose for having, now the geese is going off. The purpose for having a flowering apple, say a flowering cherry tree, because if you don't want to buy a whole bunch of different crazy cherry trees to pollinate each other or try to find the right pollinator for this exact tree, if you have a flowering, let's say pears, if you have a flowering pear tree, that pear tree is going to pollinate all other pear trees because that is the mother tree of all other fruiting pears. The blooms are going to last a span of time longer than any other fruit tree. So those flowers are going to be wide open, constantly busting open, so they can cross-pollinate. Because some pear trees only pollinate for a certain time. Then this tree pollinates for this time. For instance, very excellent example for you. I'm glad I stayed outside. Let me show you something, okay? For instance, well, let me try to come this way, get a little more light. See, this one is blooming, right? This piece of pear tree is blooming. Now, this part of this pear tree over here, this is a different pear. It's not blooming yet, and neither is the other ones. But this one is blooming like crazy because this is an early bloomer. The rest of them, one will bloom right after that, then another one will bloom right after that. So they'll never really get a chance to cross-pollinate. But in the front of my house up here is flowering pear trees. Now, their life cycle of their flowers is going to outspan each and every one of those fruiting pear trees. So they're going to be pollinated by the flowering pear without having to worry about which one is going to be able to cross-pollinate. So your flowering trees is for pollination and for beauty, of course, and to bring in pollinators like bees, hummingbirds, and stuff like that. So if you like mangoes, grow pawpaw, grafted tree. Closest fruit we have to something tastes like that. Yes, very true. Should you have cross-pollinators for all fruit trees, even for those that are self-pollinating? My answer to that is yes. Even if it's a self-pollinating tree, you do want a cross-pollinator because you will, listen, I can't say a scientific fact because I can't speak for the scientists. This is a personal fact. If you have 2 different trees or 3 different kind of fruit trees, you will get more fruit. Listen. There's the sirens. They're a little late on the draw. I knew something was wrong with that. That's gonna be on the news. Thank you so much, everything, Trance. Been growing a citrus tree for 4 years now, full of leaves, but never any fruit. Ideas why? Because you may be growing a seedling. 4 years for a citrus tree is entirely wrong. Entirely too long. Speaking of pollination, there was this great study done in China in a certain region. The bees, that faded away, I couldn't see it. Can you plant corn in a pot? Yes, you can. But the root system on corn is huge. It's like trying to grow okra in a pot. It's very possible, but they are heavy feeders and they need lots of water. And you will be feeding, fertilizing, and watering those trees constantly, and it will get on your nerves. You can, though, if you have the time to do such a thing. If you do not know someone is trying to find a place to hide, and God forbid ends up in your backyard, listen to me closely. The last thing that person wants to do is end up in my backyard. I promise you. I can't talk about everything on YouTube, okay? My name is Lead Farmer for a reason. I showed you the farmer part. I can't talk about the other part. They'll flag my video. Do you have to fertilize more potted fruit trees than in the ground? Yes, you do. Because look at it like this. Your potted fruit trees is like a person in prison. You actually have that tree in prison. You have dogs in a cage, chickens in a cage, you never let them out. They are solely depending on you. So if you don't feed them, they don't get fed. If you don't water them, they don't get water. So yes, you constantly got to keep feeding them. Where if they were in the wild, just like a person with freedom, you can go do whatever you want to do. You can go shopping, you can go eat whenever you want to. That's why half of us is overweight, because you can go eat whenever you feel like it. When you're in prison, you're on a strict diet. You're on a strict regimen. You're on a routine. Your tree inside of a bucket is no different. If you forget to feed and water your tree or your livestock, they will perish. Yeah, Marmar, I'm not even worried about it, but you see I keep peeking around. Because yeah. Ms. Craft, I have a kumquat, butterfly effect. You can eat them and like kumquats. Yes, you can. And as you see, this kumquat still pumping off fruit. Y'all see me eating off that thing constantly, and it's still giving me food. Public service announcement. Get that Miwa kumquat. Golly, that tree ain't no joke. Let me see. Yeah, it wouldn't be in their best interest to run back here. I showed y'all my mom this morning. Where do you think I got it from? You think I taught her that? She'll quickly say, I like Smith & Wesson, but I prefer a Glock. You like 77 years old. What you know about a Glock? I just like the way they feel. They feel like they'll do some harm. My mama nuts. Is the Miwa the one you can eat the whole thing? Yes, the Miwa sweet kumquat is sweet on the outside. Eat the whole thing, the skin and all. The skin is sweet, the inside is sweeter. It's like eating marmalade. Is it hard to find? It's hard to find them right now. Yes, it is. It's always hard to find them. The kumquat okay for growing in containers? Yes, you can, but yes, you can grow them in containers. Citrus do really well in containers. How much foliage should I have per fruit on my blood orange tree? It doesn't have many leaves, but it's setting several fruit. Let me show you something. Oh, that's another reason I stayed outside. You'll never find. Blown, blown, blah, blah, blown. Do, 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 do. Someone to hold you. Do, do, do. The way that I do. You'll never find. Blown, blown, blah, blah, blown. That kind of like you. Okay. Let me show you. You got a naked? I got a naked tree. There's nothing wrong with the tree. How many leaves do you need per fruit? I keep hearing that come up. That's when you start talking about the scientific development of a fruit. I don't know. I never got into that. How many leaves do you need to produce a fruit thing? I'm going to show you something on this bald-headed tree. Let me see. Can you see this? I'm trying to do this without getting poked. Can you see that little red thing right there? And then this one. All over this tree is little red buds. It's all new foliage. With new foliage comes new branches, comes new fruit. There's nothing wrong with your tree. For instance, here you go right here. That's even balder than the other one. Let me get this here. You don't try, baby. That's balder than the other tree. But as you see, this one has no leaves. No one else. You're gonna miss my loving. You're gonna miss my loving. Right there is full of fruit and buds. Pretty soon, this is gonna be loaded with tons of fruit and oh, there's some leaves popping off there. See them? You're gonna miss my love. There's nothing wrong with your tree. People panic and they get a buck-naked tree like this. This is the whole look of this tree. That's what that look like. Your tree is fine. Don't panic. They get stressed out from the cold and the weather just like we do. And then the next thing you know, just like you, some changes got to be made. When it start getting hot, you start taking your clothes off. You start shedding your wardrobe, right? It's no different. Your tree understands, just like your chickens and your pets. Your pets start to shed, right? You got dogs, you got cats. It gets hot, it gets cold, and then your dog or your cat starts to shed. Your trees is no different than people. That's why people keep talking about that I'm a vegan stuff, because stuff ain't alive. Animals is alive, but trees is inanimate. That is the biggest pot of plop I've ever heard in my life. They act so much like us that you wouldn't even believe. They just can't be walking around catching the bus and stuff to the mall, but other than that, watch them. They do exactly what we do in the same times. When it's too hot, we suffer. So do they. When it's too cold, we suffer. So do they. How long can that tree stay in that pot? I just purchased those trees fairly, I'm gonna say late last summer fallish. Those are getting planted in bigger containers, or maybe going down Lemon Lane. So not long. I wouldn't leave them in here for long. How you doing, Sudden One? Does the cold kill your lemon trees? No, I got lemons all around me. And it depends on how cold you're talking about. I live in zone 8A, I'm in South Carolina. So my lemons are literally growing right now. All of them is in the trees and the containers, and I leave them out here. They do just fine in my zone, in my climate. How you doing, Amber Sites? Let me see. Do y'all think I can get one elderberry tree and use my blueberry tree to cross-pollinate? No. Blueberries don't cross with no elderberry. And elderberries don't need no help. They don't need to be cross-pollinated with crap. Elderberry is almost, they consider it like a weed, but now they're realizing it's one of the weeds that are saved. It's a miracle weed. I'm in 7B and my citrus, good God. And my citrus did okay this winter without covering it. Exactly. Let me see. Miss Williams says, I tried to order my Miwa Kumquat from Georgia. They can't ship to Texas. Try California. How you doing, Angela? Let me see. I seem like I seen another question before I go. I'm gonna make this a whole nother 90 minutes. So we got 6 minutes left. Okay, I think I'm on time. I am on time, all right. I tried to get as many questions as I could get. I told you I'm gonna stop running my mouth and do my best to answer whatever I can. Are you selling cuttings? No, I'm not. How long can you get that tree to stay in that pot? Oh, I think I did that. No, that's coming out the pot. Okay, I think I got all the questions. Really, Stark Brothers told me to get to. Well, it's best for pollination, and it depends on where you live. I'm gonna tell you a secret. I live on the lake. I have elderberry trees all around me. They grow all up in my yard. They grow along these bushes right here. I think I even got elderberries right down here by my Miwa Kumquat somewhere. I kid you not. They grow all up in these bushes, all over the lake out there, all around my land. I chopped those down. She told me not to do that no more though. So that's that. Okay, let me see. Where do you order your trees from? Ison's Nursery. Ison's Nursery. Or anywhere. I get them from anywhere, but Ison's, when I order them, Ison's Nursery and Vineyard. Are you going to prune your pomegranate trees or leave them? I'm gonna leave them be. I'm not a big you 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 only prune things when you have to prune them. People think they need to go chopping on stuff constantly. Leave them alone. If I prune my tree right now, okay, I won't get fruit this year because that's where your fruit comes from this last year's wood. If I prune this tree, I won't get fruit this year. It's going to grow new wood that's going to give me fruit next year. So you got to keep that in consideration. If I were thinking of pruning my fruit tree, my pomegranate, this is what I would do because I have thought about it. Listen, I would prune this one this year. I won't get fruit this year. And I would leave that one alone. Then next year, I'll get fruit off of this one, and I would prune that one. And then it'll go back and forth, back and forth. Do you start your kumquat from seed? No. No. I don't start any fruit trees from seed. I found I'm 45 minutes away from Ison's, so I can wait to get back home. There you go. What is the name of the kumquat tree that you eat like candy? It looked like a dwarf. It's not a dwarf actually, and it's just it was in a container for years and it just didn't get big. But now that I put it in the ground, look, it's looking over the top now. That's it right there. That's called the Miwa kumquat. What's pruning? I'm gonna let you Google that, okay, Atmosphere? I say local nurseries are always better than online. More often, very true, very true. But there are some very dependable online nurseries. How do elderberries taste? You don't eat those. You process those and you drink the syrup. You don't go just chomping on no elderberries. They ain't like blackberries or grapes or nothing like that. You might get sick doing that. They have like miraculous healing powers, healing agents, we will say, because the power sounded a little like woo. Is $115 too much to pay for a Miwa? Not right now, it ain't. You can't find them. If you find a Miwa kumquat, I would pay it. I'm serious. Yes, very sick and probably even may even kill you. But once you process it, it's delicious. She make me take it all the time. Like a baby. Yeah, local nursery, not a big box store. But then too, you gotta, yeah. Very true. That's right, multi-twitching. Is there a benefit in planting the same tree in different locations on your land instead of a cluster together? No, not necessarily a benefit per se. You just got more of the same tree. You can plant them wherever you want to. Usually the reason why people plant them all clustered together, like I have all these pear trees right here, is because they're out of space. You know, I got trees all over the place. I'm running out of space. If you have the room to spread them out, do it. They have to be, right? Yeah. They're talking about just the shipping is 115 from what I read. Well, here's the deal. Depending on where you live, how bad you want or need the tree, I want to say this real quick. Family, we got to get realistic on pricing. The world is different now. The world is different. Everything is going to be higher than usual. Shipping costs, everything, the product itself is going to be higher. There are items out here that are life-saving, like this Miwa Kumquat. If the shipping is high and the product is high, if you have the money, you're not buying a pair of shoes. You are investing in your health and in your future. This is an investment. This isn't just you're doing this for fun. So if you're talking about making a garden investment, like purchasing a greenhouse, that's an investment. That's not for make no video about. You're talking about purchasing a fruit tree that costs $200 or $300. If you have the money to make it happen, I have nothing bad to say about it. Only, that's another situation I ain't gonna get into. So you are the tree keeper, and Miss Led takes care of the smaller garden. Yes, yes. Sometime I get into the garden too, but I'm telling you, that's her passion, is being down there and like a little pack rat. Me, I handle the heavy stuff, the heavy duty stuff. I handle the preparedness. I handle all of the fruit trees, all of the big fruit, the berries, all of that. Pomegranates, berries, blueberries, raspberries. That's my thing. Look around me right here. Broccoli, Brussels sprouts, lettuce, kale, arugula, all of this stuff. That's her world right there. That's the stuff she grow. What plants do you have in the veggie garden? I can't even say. She planted so much stuff. She got so much stuff going on. We got kale, broccoli, Brussels sprouts. I really don't know. Sage. She started a whole herb garden. Are elderberry trees invasive in the north? Elderberry trees are invasive here. Once you plant them, you ain't getting rid of them. I see you turning your property into a food forest. No, I'm not turning it into a food forest. I'm turning it into a food empire. I'm building an empire. I mean that too. One of these days, I'm a gallop through here on a horse with a fuzzy robe on and a crown to the side, like Biggie. Grab an apple. Hear ye, hear ye. Come one, come all. Emperor led Farmer 73. I got that all up here in my head somewhere. I'm trying to grow an empire. Anybody who want to grow a food forest, go for it. I'm trying to grow a food empire so I can feed everybody. Like the Old Spice commercial, like, look at me, look at the broccoli. Look at me, now look at the lettuce, now look at me. That's how I'm gonna do it. So yeah. That's right. Let me see, can. A doctor office I go to has a fence line full of elderberry. I want to grow some, might take a piece. I mean, you could get that from anywhere. Lord of the trees. I like that. Hello, 9-year-old watching. Tell him I said hello. Uh, Tally 1090. I don't have an empire yet, but I do own the F90 bank. That's wonderful. Oh my gosh. But it's the truth though. It's what we all really want. You can also volunteer at a local community garden. Very true. I want you to think about this, family. What we're doing now, we're not just gardening for fun anymore. Hey, Homestead Heart, it's good to see you. How you doing? Right when I'm about to kind of scurry out of here too. Thank you for coming by, sis. It's good to see you. I want everybody to know that from here on out, this isn't just for fun. We're investing in our futures. Please look at it like that. You're investing in your future because the way things are going, we don't know where food is going to keep coming from. We don't know who's going to be able to have your back, who's going to save you. We don't know any of that. You're investing in your own security, in your own food right now. Just look at it like that before you go spending your money talking about something costs too much. But then you'll go out to eat a meal with your family member, go to the movies and spend $200 and not even think twice about it. You ain't missed nothing. I'm in here running my mouth as usual, just chopping it up. Old Homestead Heart in the house. What is your opinion on skirting a citrus tree? Skirting a citrus tree? What does that even mean? That's my opinion because I don't know what that is. Unless you spelled something wrong. Skirting a citrus tree? Come back at me with that one. We are investing in our health too. That's right. We investing in our health and our wealth. And I'm going to tell you something else about that, family. Remember one other thing. You're not just eating all of this food. You're also selling it to bring in income to help you do other things around your land or around your home. This big juicy apple is not going to fix your roof. This big juicy apple is not going to fix your car. But selling this big juicy apple can get your roof fixed. Selling these big juicy apples can get your car fixed or your tractor fixed or buy you a tiller. Where do you think I'm getting all of this stuff from? It ain't falling out the sky. They don't pay us like that. You grow enough to eat, you grow enough to share, and you grow enough to sell so you can keep the cycle going. Homestead Heart here has a homestead. Homestead Heart and her husband has a homestead. That takes a lot of energy and a lot of money. They have way more land than I have. I can't even imagine how much, and I don't even know where she get time to make a video. You need income to maintain that. You gotta feed your chickens. You gotta feed your livestock. You gotta put up your fences. You have to fertilize your fruit trees and your vegetables. You have to till. You got a tractor. That stuff costs money. So you have to come up with all kind of different ways to supplement your income from YouTube videos or selling your wares. All of that comes, you got to be creative with it. It's not just about, selling your eggs. My chickens give me eggs. We sell them. I showed y'all that. You got to come up with different ways. So we're investing in our future and in our health so we can be self-sufficient. This is what real, true self-sufficiency is. Not none of this nonsense you keep hearing about on YouTube. What it is you need to make this, all of this you're doing, your investment, work for you. You put in that hard work, sweat, and tears at first. But after a while, it starts working for you. It starts giving you more fruit than you know what to do with. Is it too late to buy chickens? No, it's the perfect time to buy chickens. It's spring. Go to Tractor Supply or order online. Homestead Heart can help you with ordering online. I've never ordered chickens online. She has, and turkeys. Uh, they said Homestead Heart, they got their canner. Can't wait to go back through your videos. No, because Homestead Heart, hopefully Homestead Heart about to bust out some more cannon videos. Hopefully, Homestead Heart. Homestead Heart, better get them cannon videos going. Wink, wink. Let's go. Because everybody is sitting here trying to say, Led, teach me how to can. I'm not the one. Every one of my videos, I'm like, I'm not the one. I'm not that guy. Homestead Heart, please get them, Crump. Please get them going, because a lot of people was asking me to teach them how to can. I can't teach you how to can. Remember I told you, there are specialists in this game that I don't touch. I can't teach you how to can. Homestead Heart can. Now, I can show you how I can. I can't teach you how, though. When it comes to grass and lawns, I can't teach you nothing about no lawn. I can send you to turf therapy. That's the man. I can't teach you nothing about hydroponics. I know how to do it. I've done it. But I learned hydroponics from Miss Graft. I can take you to all the specialists. But no, I can't teach you that. Any homesteaders in Texas in the house? Some people skirt their trees with one of the what? Some people skirt their trees with one of the white substance. I'm sorry, Anne Marie. I don't know what that means. I don't remember who asked me. Skirt the trees with a white substance. Y'all have to say y'all words right, because that really threw me off. Oh, okay. I got you, Ann. All right. I was about to say, I don't know about this one. Let me see. Thanks to Homestead Heart, my family and friends have been buying homemade jelly. We love her. She's one of the canning gurus. That's right. That is right. Yes, Homestead Heart is my canning teacher. Sandra Barksdale, what's the name? Sandra Barksdale, what's the name of the intruder? I want to get a fruit tree. There is easy to grow. Specialist like doctor does. Probably chalk or white paint. Oh, I get it. You talking about some of that Ivy organic stuff. I got you. Or whitewash. Who else is it? Okay. A burlap sack at the base skirting too. Why do you do that? Why do you put a burlap sack on the trunk of the tree? If I'm reading it right. White Liz said a red Haven peach tree. Right. The skirt person. I don't know yet. Okay, I don't know if the skirt person is a troll. That's why I'm so interested, because it sounds like, yeah, that's what I thought. That's not a troll. They just saying a term of gardening that I'm not familiar with. That's why I didn't rush them out. No, they didn't say they looking up the skirt of the tree. That's another ball game. And you know what? If you're looking up the skirt of a tree, you might find a branch. You get what I'm saying? Oh, you know I'm tired. Be careful what skirt you looking up. You might see a branch on that tree. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just tired, y'all. That's all right. Sorry. Yeah, the whitewashing the bark of the tree. That's because at first, that's why I was like, is this person playing with me, skirting up a tree? See, I heard something like that in different terminologies when I was a kid. I'm gonna give this person another shot. I'm not gonna snap on them right off the bat. You gotta say your words right. You better explain that. That's why I was like, man, you better explain that. You got some explaining to do. Okay? You got some serious explaining to do right there. Yeah, I think they talk about the white paint like the IV Organics or something to put on the bark of the tree. I hope. What is the best? There we go. What is the best way to root a tree cutting without using the chili dog method? I wouldn't even know. Only use the chili dog method. You hear that? Listen. Listen. You hear that? You hear that squeaking? You know what that noise is? That's either a beaver or a river otter. I think it's a river otter because beavers sound like babies, and river otters sound like squeaky toys. Not a bat. I'd have been in the house by now. River otter sound like squeaky toys. Nature already gives you the bark of the tree to protect it. Stop making things more complicated. I've never put that stuff on my tree. The only thing I do is protect my trees from beavers. Planting at the base of trees, atmosphere indoors in containers. We all learn something every day. So that's it. All right. So we did a little grafting, a little bit. Tomorrow I'm really going in. And here's the thing, you guys. You're going to see me do this stuff. And I'm not going to be talking as much because I'm going to be deep down into my grafting game. You're going to see some crazy stuff. I have plans. You're going to see a butchering of a big tree. And I'm going to turn it into something completely different because this tree sucks. I have a hood pear tree around 11 o'clock. I'm going to try to get up around 11 o'clock. It's called a hood pear tree. I've had this tree, I promise you, for 6 years in this house, 7 years, 8 years, and it just keep pumping out leaves. I've had enough. Didn't I tell you enough is enough? Enough is enough. I know what pear tree will grow on it quick, and that's what I'm gonna turn it into. And you gonna watch tomorrow. You gonna be real upset when you see what I'm about to do, but you'll learn real quick. All right. To protect the trunk of the tree with the whitewashing stuff. Do you do composting? I don't. I don't do that anymore. I used to. All I do is throw all my leaves and scraps and everything in my chicken coop, and the chickens compost it for me, and they add their own fertilizer in it, and then you got some real stuff. So I don't do the whole compost pile thing anymore. I can't wait either, T4T. I'm ready. I wanted to do it today. I just waited too late. I was talking to a good friend of mine. I thought you really meant a hood pear tree until you said that's the real name. I'm going to say a little bit of both. It's acting kind of hood, and it's called a hood pear tree. It ain't doing nothing for me. My chickens are so quiet because they in their coop, sleep. Chickens just don't hang out at night. They get ate up by everything. As a matter of fact, let me see something. Oh, shit. I didn't mean to cuss. But in the chickens that we hatched out, we found out that we have 3 roosters. So they're loud roosters too. So I was kind of like, I'm going to leave them outside the cage. Listen. We got a fox that killed 3 of my chickens the other night. And I left it. That's that otter. And I left the roosters out here to fend for themselves. Them roosters so hardcore. They've been out here for 3 nights and ain't nothing mess with them. They've been able to fly. Came out the other day, one is on my roof. Like, hear that? That was a baby beaver. They all watched it. Baby beavers. Beavers sound like babies. They say, mama. They really do. Mama. Mama. And the river otters live inside of the beaver dens when they pass through. So you will sit out here at night and hear everything. Geese, ducks, river otters, beavers, cranes, herring, everything is out here making noise. Foxes, and I think a couple of damn Yetis, Bigfoots. Yeah, nature is beautiful until it starts rattling the greenhouse. I'm gonna get out of here and leave y'all alone, all right? We're gonna have a nice day tomorrow because I'm gonna start grafting. And this is gonna give you another, I do this every year and I'm gonna do it every year from here on out, every year, because it's gonna help you in the garden. It's gonna help you before you go cutting stuff off and pruning too much stuff. It's gonna show you, you got more options. Say you cut off of this peach tree, right? I'm going to cut a branch off of that peach tree right there. That's that Indian blood peach, right? I'm going to take a piece of that. I'm going to put it on another peach tree so it can get bigger. And I have more Indian blood peach trees. That way I'll always have one no matter what happens to any of them. This is giving you options without keep going in your pocket wasting your money, okay? This is my empire. He's the pimp of the year. He's the pimp of the year. Ooh, he's the pimp of the year. All right, let me get out of here. Y'all have a wonderful night. I'm just tripping now. Y'all know that. I'm just tripping now. Hey, baby, your high heels on. You give me fever like I've never ever known. I like your look and your loveliness. I like the look of your walk, your talk, your dress. I feel your fever from miles around. I pick you up in my car and we'll paint the town. Kiss me, baby, and tell me twice. You're the one who made the way you made me feel. Y'all know y'all can't stop singing that. You really turn me on. You knock me off of my feet now, baby. My lonely days are gone. Go, girl. I like the feeling you're giving me. To touch me, baby, and I'm in ecstasy. Oh, I'll be working from 9 to 5. All right, y'all, let's get out of here because I'm ready to go lay down and party. That sounded crazy, didn't it? Lay down and party. Never felt so in love. Go on, girl. All right, everybody have a wonderful night. Nail Farmer 73, hope to see you in the morning. Let's go do some grafting. Remember what I said. You're going to need, you probably ain't going to do this while I'm doing it anyway. You'll see it. I'll tell you again tomorrow. All right? Nail Farmer 73, I love you. How many people in there live? Nobody here now that I'm leaving. But if I was going to do a video, they'd be here again. Good night, everybody. Nail Farmer 73, I love you, and I'm out.